They're playing with my microphone as we talk, which is very cool that they're getting that working. 5 minutes ago, I was going to shout at you for 30 minutes. So no shouting now. This has been a fun 4 weeks. Thank you very much for having me. You guys have a terrific church. It is Sunday of a long weekend. I pulled in at about 9:30, and there's people working the parking lot. Somebody was here, I think, at 7 a.m. to set up chairs and a sound system. Things mechanically don't go, or technologically don't go the way they should be going, and no one's panicking. There's just a bunch of grace in the room. You guys have a good church. One of the things that we noticed when I pulled in this morning is that you guys are handing out this little summertime talks at Stony Plain Alliance Church. And I noticed I'm not in it. And I thought that was interesting. It's like, we want you to be here, we just don't want anyone else to know that you're here. So it reminded me of my dating life in high school. You know, I love to go on a date with you as long as it's non-public. And so, thanks for those memories. Appreciate it very much. So the sermon series that I've been doing has been very orthopraxy. And so there's orthodoxy, our relationship with God, orthopraxy, our relationship with each other. And so this will kind of even be on the outer edge of orthopraxy for me. And so I hope that you've appreciated that and understand that. And because you don't know me well, there might be that assumption that orthodoxy is somehow less important to me than that orthopraxy. Just the opposite is true, and I just want to acknowledge that. First and foremost is our relationship with God and our relationship with Jesus. And then out of that comes all this other stuff. So I'm preaching all the other stuff, not wanting you to recognize that primarily what I want you to understand is that all that other stuff comes out of first a right relationship with Jesus and knowing Him personally and intimately. And so today I want to talk a little bit about trust and how to rebuild trust when it's broken. This fits in with everything we've talked about, how do we rebuild trust with the poor community, with people that are impoverished and homeless, with our indigenous community where trust has been broken. How do we rebuild trust with our kids, our teenagers when that is broken? How do we rebuild trust with those that we have neglected with our time? And so this is sort of the last practical part of that, and I want to break down trust a little bit for you to get to that. So 20 months ago, I became managing director of the Mustard Seed in Edmonton. I left a really, really wonderful job, position, career, calling. I love pastoring next Christian community. I love the church. I started the church and just thought I would be there till I retired. And then through a number of circumstances, I was called out of Next and to the Mustard Seed. Now, because of my relationships I had with a number of ex-employees at the Mustard Seed, I knew that the Mustard Seed was a great place for doing work, and it did great work, but it was a lousy place to work. Okay, so hear that again. Mustard Seed did great work, it was a lousy place to work. The year prior to me arriving, we had 100% turnover in the staff. There were 50 positions and there were 50 new people within 12 months. 100% turnover. It was not a trusting environment. The executive assistant that I inherited when I was hired, I asked her how long she had been there for. She said 7 years. I said, what number of managing director am I? She said, you're number 7. And so my introductory to the staff meeting, they called as many staff that could come. There was probably 20, 25 there. And my boss, CEO of Mustard Seed Alberta, introduced me to the staff. And he said, can you guys tell Dean your name? And I said, actually, let's go farther than that. I said, tell me your name, tell me what job you have here, tell me how long you worked here for, and then let me know what it is that you find most gratifying in your work. And what was interesting was that I think there was 3 people in the room that had been there longer than 12 months. Everybody else was, I've been here 3 months, I've been here 6 months. And when you asked them what it is they were grateful for, all the answers were the same. I love the people we serve. I love what we do. Not one person said, this is a great place to work. At that point then, they decided to pray for me, and I have never ever felt the weight of the responsibility I had been given professionally like I did at that moment. Because I saw how untrusted an environment this was, and how brutal of a culture this was. And so my boss actually specifically said to me when he hired me, I'm hiring you to do 3 things. And the first thing is you need to change the culture of the mustard seed in Edmonton. You need to make this a great place to work. In order to do that, I had to build trust. I had to build trust amongst the staff. Trust is one of the things that we think is ambiguous, but actually can be measured in very concrete ways. Trust is measured by speed. The more trusting an environment, the faster it is decisions are made, and the quicker things are done. When trust is slow or low, very, very low, the slower things go. And so if you don't trust someone, you go slow. If you trust someone, decisions are made quickly. People feel empowered. Things get done quickly. The mustard seed moved extraordinarily slow. Extraordinarily. And so my job was to rebuild the culture by, first of all, rebuilding trust. And so I want to talk a little bit today about how that can happen. Now, also what I want you to do is something a little bit different, because it's a long weekend. When we were going through all 4 sermons that I was going to preach, Jonathan said, put this one on the long weekend, no one will be there. And so, there's many of you here, so that's good. And I said, well, let's do something a little bit different too. And so, I'm going to put my phone number up there. You're not allowed to call me after 11:30, but prior to that, you should feel free to text a question or comment it. And I'll read it. Well, I might read it. Depends on what you say. If it's like a shirt doesn't look good on you, we're not going to read that. That's why I have 3 daughters to tell me that. And so, but I want you to feel free to text in a comment or question. You don't have to, but it's just a different idea to create some interaction with this. Okay. The first thing to build trust is integrity. Integrity is required to have trust. This is character. This is ethics. This is decency. If people's character is off, trust will not be rebuilt. It is not the only thing that matters in trust, but it is actually the most foundational thing. And if you don't have it, everything else will go awry. Now, in Acts 10, we read about Peter going to Cornelius. And instead of reading the full scripture, I'm just going to give you chunks of it. Cornelius is a captain. He's Greek, and he wants to talk to this Jewish guy, Peter, about Jesus and about faith and about all this other stuff. Peter's got some stuff to get over in order to go talk to him, but eventually he does. And in Acts 10, verse 24 and 25, actually 26, we read this. The next day they arrived in Caesarea, where Cornelius was waiting for them. He had also invited his relatives and close friends. When Peter arrived, Cornelius greeted him. Then he knelt at Peter's feet and started worshiping him. But Peter took hold of him and said, stand up. I'm nothing more than a human. Stand up. I'm nothing more than a human. So for those of you that are my vintage, you recognize this is a bit of a Wayne's World moment. Where Wayne and Garth drop in front of Alice Cooper and says, we're not worthy, we're not worthy. Peter is Alice Cooper in this analogy. You know what's so good, eh? And Peter says, get up. I'm just a normal guy. Instantly, Peter shows his character. Because he shows humility, he shows his understanding of who he is next to Jesus, and he shows his understanding of who he is next to just another person. Now, the interesting thing for me is that Peter is far from just another guy. I mean, consider this. He had healed some people, or God had healed people through him. Angels at this point had helped him escape from prison. He had preached a dramatic sermon in front of thousands of people. He had even walked on water at this point. Peter was anything but a normal guy. He was the leader of the fastest growing religion of that time. And depending upon how you want to read some of your scripture, we read in the Gospels that Peter was actually even pretty good with a sword. So he accomplished a lot of different things. Peter was an extraordinary man, but when someone tries to show him improper reverence, his character shines through and he says, get up. If you want to rebuild trust in a relationship, you need to ask yourself first and foremost, how is my character? And what is the character like of the individual I'm trying to rebuild trust with? Because if their character is off and you know it's off, rebuilding trust will be very, very difficult until their character is transformed in Christ. If your character is off, I would ask the question, where is Jesus in your life today? That he is not transforming you into his likeness, it means that you are not allowing him to do so. To rebuild trust, you need to rebuild character. The second thing that you need is the proper motivation. Acts 10, verse 28, and Peter said to them, you know that we Jews are not allowed to have anything to do with other people, but God has shown you that he doesn't think anyone is unclean or unfit. This is the motivation. This is the why of things. Our intention needs to be right. Our character has to be right. That's true. But motivation should always be pure as well. And sometimes our character is good, but sometimes the motivation is, for lack of a better word, perverted. It's not trusting the why. You might trust the character, but you don't trust their heart, their intention. Why is they're doing what they're doing? Now here's an easy example. Say that you work for a company, and the company is owned by a single individual, and that single individual decides that they want to hire their child. The owner is a good person, ethical, high morals, very, very decent. But the child is an underperformer. The kid, there may even be an adult kid, but they're an underperformer. Everyone is well aware of the fact that the owner will back the kid no matter what. The owner's motivation is not what is best for the company, but for the kid, for the child. He might make or she might make the right decision as a mother or father, but they're making the wrong decision as a business owner. And the result is that a great many staff leave and the company goes backwards. I mean, how many of us are aware of that scenario? I mean, it speaks to the Calgary Flames from 10 years ago. Well, there was no others that matter. Peter's heart had to be changed by God. His character was fine, but his ethic needed to be changed. And not his ethic, his intention needed to be changed. His heart needed to be changed. He needed to see all people as equal. That line in verse 28 is just so profound. But God has shown me. God has shown me. God has shown me. My heart is wrong. My motivation is wrong. My intention is wrong. Peter was a man of literal law, but God changed his motivation. His character didn't change, but God changed his heart towards the Gentiles. And because of that, Cornelius could trust him. Some of you have got excellent character, but your heart, your motivation, isn't right. You're ethical, you're moral, you're decent, yet when it comes right down to it, you're actually not very trustworthy because no one thinks that you're doing it for the right reasons. Some of you work with people who are wired exactly the same way. And times we need to ask and answer the question, why is it that I'm doing this? And am I doing it for the right reasons? The third thing in building trust is asking the question, are you capable? verses 33 to 43 outlines this quite well, and I'll just read you a little bit of a chunk of it, starting in verse 34. Peter then said, "Now I am certain that God treats all people alike. God is pleased with everyone who worships him and does right no matter what nation they come from. This is the same message that God gave to the people of Israel. Then he sent Jesus Christ, the Lord of all, to offer peace to them." And I can stop right there, because at this point, Peter has shown how capable he is. He walks into a room with a Gentile leader that he should be in conflict with, and he articulates in 3 sentences the fact that this person is accepted by God and that Jesus loves him, and by knowing Christ, his life will change. He shows his skill level. He shows the fact that he is capable in speaking in a manner that is compelling, interesting, and truthful. He is competent. One of the mistakes that we make is associating character with competency. We mix those two up, and we say that somehow that character and competency is one and the same. I think it's actually reasonable to suggest that many people have great character, but they're not actually, very good at everything and lots of things. And we'll see at that time at work, someone will say, well, this person, they're not very skilled, but they're such a good guy. So let's just work with them because they're such a good guy. Well, and that's important that they're such a good guy, but at the end of the day, shouldn't they actually, have the skill set to do what it is we're asking them to do? Like, there's a lot of things I'm really, really lousy at. You do not want me fixing anything in your house. You just don't. Now, eventually I can kind of figure it out, but, there's lots of duct tape and, other things involved. And at the end I'll say, it's all fine, it's all good, as the door comes off the hinges. There's these things that you're just not very good at. Competent. Are you capable? Is the person capable? Especially in churches, we mesh character and competency. I was part of, I'll say this. So this is not the church I was pastoring at, but one prior. They had this gentleman who was on the board. And I couldn't for the life of me figure out why he was on the board, because he was a really, really good guy. And so at one point I was close enough to the senior pastor, I said, why is so-and-so on the board? And his answer was, well, because he's such a good guy. And I went, well, I understand that, but why is he on the board? And he said, well, because he's such a good guy. I'm like, I got that. What is he contributing at a board level to the church? Well, he's such a good guy. And sometimes, we don't ask that enough, right? Like what skill set do we offer? And sometimes we put people in the wrong places because they're such a good person. But really, we all have skills and talents and all that kind of stuff that we can give, unless we area in which we should give it. And it's no different at work, and it's no different in your personal life. Where are the things that we can give? Do I trust that the individual is capable? Have I proven that I am myself incompetent in the area that I say I am competent in? And the results of this is what we read with Peter in verse 44. While Peter was still speaking, the Holy Spirit took control of everyone who was listening. Some Jewish followers of the Lord had come with Peter, and they were surprised that the Holy Spirit had been given to Gentiles. Now they were hearing Gentiles speaking unknown languages and praising God. One of the things that is interesting is this whole idea of, do I trust the results? Do I trust that people are going to deliver on what it is we want to deliver on? Now, for those of you with teenagers like I have, I trust my kids' character, 6 out of 7 days a week. And I really trust their intention. And I know when I ask them to clean their rooms, they have the skills to do it. But yet, the results are never there. They're just never there. And that's where the trust breaks down. My wife and I, she will often say things like, and it's kind of annoying, I'm not going to lie, she'll be like, so what specifically happened with this? Or what did you say when you talked to this person? And I'll be like, and this is the honest answer. I don't know. And I give the overviewing sort of thing, but I can't get into details. And the reason why I can't get into details is two things. One, I'm quite capable of getting the details, but I'm not really motivated to get them. She'll say, you're quite capable of listening, but you don't. And I don't listen to details. At the end, it's all good or it's all bad. That's what I know. It's one or the other. It's all categorized. So the results aren't always there. So it's not like when she's asking me those things, she's questioning my character. What she's saying is, were you motivated to listen? Because if you weren't, did you get the results I'm asking for? And it's breaking down those kinds of things that we understand where trust is starting to break down and where trust has to be rebuilt. And so let me just give you a couple of brief ways that trust can be rebuilt if it is broken. First of all, you need to identify where trust is broken. And you need to understand that it isn't the full person that I don't trust. It's this part of them, this part of the behavior that I'm finding lacks the trust. We had a staff person at the Mustard Seed, and extremely smart, had all the skills in the world, was completely a person of high character. And at the end of the day, I just went, I don't think they care. At least not care enough in the way that about the things we needed them to care about. And for close to a year, I worked on that. And that was it. And eventually they moved on. But that was where trust somehow got broken down between her and me and the organization. Sometimes with our kids, we have to identify what trust actually is. I trust who you are, I trust your heart, I trust your skill set, but man, you just fail to deliver every time. What's that about? And we see the word trust as an attack on the character, but sometimes it's an attack on something more, or it's something different than that. The second thing is, you need to get your character intact. We had a gentleman the other day who said to me that he had made a mistake organizationally. He went back and fixed the mistake, and he said, I just feel like everything I've done or I did was sort of the opposite of what we believe in, and the opposite of what I should do. And I asked him, I said, so what'd you do then? He said, I went and apologized. And I said, well, that means your character is strong. It isn't the mistakes we made, it's the ability to own them and apologize for them. It's the ability to put being in relationship over being right all the time. It's that, I see so much stuff break down because so many of us are concerned about winning the arguments and being right, and not enough are concerned about being in right relationship with people. And sometimes you have to somehow put being right over being in relationship over being right. If your character is shaky, it's because you're not working on your relationship with Christ. Or more importantly, allowing Him to work within your life to become more like Him. I think sometimes we have to ask the question, is our motivation right? When I first got hired, I asked my boss, I said, what is the number one thing you want me to do? Like you gave me the three sort of things. How do you want me to begin filtering that? And he said, I only want you to ask one question every time you make a decision. And I said, what's that? He said, I want you to ask the question, what is in the best interest of the mustard seed? Now that changes, that's an incredible lens when you're leading an organization. When you make a decision and you ask the question, what is in the best interest of my family? What is in the best interest of the place I work for? What is in the best interest of my spiritual health? What is in the best interest of the other person who maybe needs a friend right now? And when we begin to ask questions that are outside of ourselves, we begin to make the right decision for the right reasons. I mean, the old adage that became a cliche, what would Jesus do, is actually rather profound when you're shaping your own motivation and your own heart. What indeed would Jesus do? The third thing is only commit to do what you're capable of doing. Only commit to doing what you're capable of doing. But the flip of that is, if you're a leader or if you're a parent, ask yourself, am I asking someone to do something they can't? Because then you're setting them up to fail. And we need to set ourselves up, our staff up, and our kids up to succeed. And the last thing is celebrate results. Nothing moves something faster than trust. And when trust happens and things move quickly, amazing stuff can occur. One brief example of that, and then I'll wrap up. About 3 months into my time as managing director of the Mustard Seed, my buddy, who's been my friend for nearly 20 years, was the executive director of the Neighbor Center. And he came to me and he said, we should merge our two organizations. And I said to Chris, we should, but we're a little bigger than you, so that means you'd be coming back to the Mustard Seed, which you worked for 14 years. And left because of all the grossness that was the Mustard Seed as an organization for so long. And I said, you'd be coming back to Mustard. He goes, I know. I said, Chris, you've been in this industry for 20 years. I've been in it for 3 months. If you come back, that means you report to me. I am your boss. He said, I know. Keep in mind, no one has taught me more about inner city and poverty and how Jesus loves the poor than Chris. And he said, I know. And I said, are you sure about this? And he said, I'm 100% sure about this. And within 9 months of me starting, and in 6 months of that conversation, the two organizations merged together. None of the staff of the Neighbor Center, the senior staff, had left. Some part-time staff, that's it. And the question is, why did that go so quickly? And the answer is because everything that Chris said was true. I knew 100% it was going to be true. I never had to double-check his facts. And it was the same with me. Trust can move things so quickly when it's built the right way.
Amen.
And my hope and my prayer for you is that you are in trusting relationships. And if you're not, my hope and my prayer for you is that you will rebuild it in the right way. That you will rebuild it in the right way. I have one final mustard seed story, and then I'll be done. I'm checking my phone, and the only person that's texted me is my daughter. When will you be home? Will you get mozzarella sticks? Okay. Oh, these things matter. Stuff over at a friend's house last night. What can I do? This was the Calgary mustard seed. This lady died on the streets. She's well known by the mustard seed community. They went and found her family of origin, and her family of origin had assumed that she had died 10 years prior at the hands of Pectin. They didn't know that she had been alive on the streets of Calgary for 10 years, and they were just up in it. So they came down for the funeral, good Pentecostal family, well-dressed, well-groomed, the whole thing. And they sat on one side of the mustard seed, and then everybody who was part of the streets of the Calgary mustard seed sat on the other side. And then they had an open mic. And so this first guy gets up to the open mic. And he is the hardest guy in that community. And I don't know how else to describe it, but think of the hardest individual in downtown Calgary. This is this dude. And he gets up there, and everybody's really nervous of what he's going to say. And the mic is here, and he leans forward and he goes, "Hi, my name is Tim. Mary was my girlfriend. I'll miss her. I loved her very much." And he starts to tear up. The mustard seed staff starts to cry. Next guy gets up there, leans into the mic and says, "Hi, my name is Jack. Mary is my girlfriend. I'll miss her. I loved her very much." 5 more individuals got up there and claimed their love for Mary and how Mary was his girlfriend, really good. At this point, the mustard seed staff is trying not to burst out in laughter. The family is trying not to look shocked and horrified. At the end of the day, a lot of people may have loved Mary, but she probably wasn't the most trustworthy person out there. My hope for each of you is that you will be trustworthy people. And the relationships that are broken, you will enter into retrusting and enter into just relationships. Let's pray. Father in heaven, thank you for this morning. Thank you for being present with us. And thank you for your love and your goodness to us. And for the relationships in our life that are broken, that are frayed, that are fractured, that we know you would like us to have healing in. I pray that we would rebuild trust in those relationships. And even if it's on a macro level, like it is with our indigenous community, like it is with those that are homeless and poor, or even if it's on a micro level, with the person that maybe is sitting beside us in church this morning, or the friend that we wish we were back in right relationship with, or the staff person that we just can't figure out what's wrong. I pray that you would help us re-enter into trust with them and into a relationship that is just and whole and right. In your name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Will you show your appreciation just one more time? What a great series, Pastor Benny. I was in a 2-year leadership boot camp called Arrow, which I believe you were in with Graham. And we had over this 2-year experience, some of the world-class leaders, teachers, come to a group of about 25 of us and just, we kind of got to sit at their feet and take it all in like a sponge. Now, at the end of that session, we as emerging leaders would get to kind of speak into their life about what impacted us, how we were grateful that they were there, what sort of light bulb moments we had. Now, we don't have the time to pass the mic here and do that, but Dean gave us his text number. And wouldn't it be awesome if we just text bombed him over the next hour with ways that he has in this 4 weeks impacted us. We're not going to do this for every speaker, but Dean had the unique opportunity to do 4 weeks with us, and we're so grateful. So I just maybe challenge you to just give him a little, he'll be annoyed by the end of it for sure, and which is kind of what I'm hoping for. Matt had said, why don't you should write him a tribute song, and I couldn't think of anything that rhymes with Kurpjuweit, so this will have to do. But why don't you stand as Matt gives us the benediction.
Dean especially appreciates being texted at past midnight. It's his favorite time of the day when he's both not important and not rushed, right? That's just
Sleep is urgent at that point, so...
Yes, urgent, sorry about that. So I want to leave us with the words of Galatians 5. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against these things there is no law. Those who belong in Christ Jesus have been crucified with the flesh, with its passions and desires. And since we live by the Spirit, let us keep in step with the Spirit. Let us not become conceited, provoking, or envying of each other. So, Stony Plain Alliance Church, may we keep in step with the Spirit this week. May we see our motivations. May we see who we're becoming and what we've become. May we walk in step with Christ so that He can change us and help us to work for the goodness of those around us. Go in peace.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dean. Thanks, Dean.